Greetings and welcome, colleagues, students, and families. My name is Michelle Gross, and I'm here to share my philosophy of being a special education teacher. Using the infographic shared above, I will explain the role of the special education teacher in supporting learning, upholding professional expectations and ethics, advocating for, and advancing the profession. To be effective in this role, I will discuss strong professional dispositions and character traits. The infographic shows that special education teachers have many roles and responsibilities. Using this infographic, I will explain my role supporting learning, my moral and legal responsibilities, as well as advocating for my students so that they receive the best education they deserve. I would also like to share with you my personal values, my Christian worldviews, and my commitment to lifelong learning. My role goes far beyond just academic instruction. Special education teachers support learning by developing and implementing IEPs. These assess student performance, monitor progress, and make adjustments to ensure students with exceptionalities have meaningful access to learning opportunities. I believe it is important to create inclusive learning experiences where every student feels valued, capable, and supported. The infographic also emphasizes the importance of upholding legal and ethical responsibilities. Special education teachers are required to follow all federal laws, which include IDEA and FERPA. These laws state that students receive appropriate services while protecting their rights and confidentiality. Our ethical roles include treating our students and families with dignity and respect while maintaining integrity and demonstrating compassion. Collaboration and advocacy also play a role in the special education profession. I work closely with general education teachers, paraprofessionals, therapists, administrators, and families to provide support for students. In order for collaboration to be effective, there has to be communication, active listening, transparency, and shared decision making. This means that all participants are sharing information, ideas, concerns, and updates with one another. They pay close attention to what others are saying and try to understand their perspectives instead of just waiting to respond. Transparency is being honest, open, and clear about the decisions, student progress, challenges, and expectations. Shared decision making means that we're working together to make choices rather than having one person decide everything alone. Everyone's input is valued when planning what is best for the student. Advocacy is also a role we take on as special education teachers. Advocacy also involves monitoring progress and ensuring students receive equitable opportunities within the school community. I believe that all students can learn, and that it is my responsibility to set realistic expectations that encourage student success. I believe every student deserves the opportunity to experience the joy and love of music. Although I am a music teacher, I also support and serve students with exceptionalities within my classroom. Ethical frameworks and professional practice standards guide me in creating an inclusive and supportive learning environment where all students can participate and succeed in music education. Standards such as fairness, respect, collaboration, confidentiality, and advocacy help me make ethical decisions that support the individual needs of my students. As a music teacher, I work closely with the special education teachers, their families, and paraprofessionals to provide appropriate accommodations and meaningful learning opportunities for students with exceptionalities. When using practical wisdom, I am committed to thoughtfully adapt instruction, activities, and assessments so students can fully engage in the music experiences while feeling valued, respected, and supported. Through compassion, patience, and creativity, I hope to inspire all students to discover their unique voice through music and movement. By following ethical and professional standards, I can help ensure every student has access to a positive, inclusive, and enriching educational experience through music, regardless of ability or disability. I believe there are several dispositions and character traits that will help me be effective in this role. The most important one to me is compassion. People can tell if you care for them or not. Compassion is meeting and greeting students on a daily basis. When they walk in, it's a hello. Being genuinely interested in students. Taking the time to converse with the students beyond the classroom. Inquire about their outside activities, such as sports. Knowing your students beyond just academics can be very important and can lead to other information. After all, if you don't care, why should they? Another disposition that is important is honesty. We show integrity by our words and actions. Honesty is demonstrated by saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Always speaking truthfully to your students. Being transparent in your decision-making processes. Engaging in ensuring that input from all parties are included. Using student input to make decisions and always keeping the students at the very center of your decision-making process. Reflective practice is at the heart of teaching. Highly effective teachers continuously reflect on their professional and instructional actions and decisions in support of student learning and achievement. Reflection includes seeking feedback to measure the effectiveness of processes, observing others in the same practice and learning from their experience, asking questions of colleagues and supervisors, making time at the end of the day to reflect on the daily processes. Reflection combined with experience leads to growth as a professional. The professional dispositions I have mentioned, including high expectations, fairness, and advocacy, will help guide my ethical decision making and use of practical wisdom. I will use that professional knowledge, ethical principles, and thoughtful judgment to determine the best course of action in any complex situation. As an educator, I understand that every student's situation is unique, and decisions should always focus on what will best support the student's growth, learning, and overall well-being. When determining special education eligibility, these ethical frameworks and standards will help ensure the process is fair, objective, and student-centered. I will use assessment data, observations, collaboration with families and professionals, and evidence-based practices to make informed decisions. Ethical decision-making requires honesty and transparency throughout the process so that families fully understand the evaluation results, recommendations, and the supports that are available to them. To continue deepening my understanding of the diverse learning needs of students, I will remain committed to lifelong learning, reflection, collaboration, and professional growth. One way I will continue growing professionally is by participating in professional development opportunities focused on special education, differentiated instruction, inclusion, and culturally responsive teaching. Attending workshops, conferences, webinars, and training sessions will help me stay informed about current research, instructional strategies, and educational technologies that support diverse learners. I also plan to remain informed about changes in special education laws, policies, and evidence-based practices to better advocate for students and to meet their educational needs effectively. Working alongside general education teachers, special education teachers, and other support staff will allow me to share ideas, problem solve, and learn new strategies for supporting students. Professional learning communities encourage teamwork, reflection, and continuous improvement, all of which contribute to more effective teaching practices and better student outcomes. My walk with Christ is the source of everything I do. God has called me to the classroom, and I am looking for Him to change lives. I pursue excellence in all that I do. One of my favorite scriptures to keep me on track is Colossians 3:23 and 24. And whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of your inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ. This helps me to get the focus off of myself and onto my students where it belongs. It also reminds me that I should always be doing the best that I can. We are called to live out our lives in ways that contribute to the common good. We are convinced that this call extends to the workplace and that our respective vocations represent vital opportunities to glorify God by serving others in ways that promote human flourishing. The Christian worldview offers hope of restoration not only for individuals, but also for families, communities, and societies in which individuals live, work, and serve one another. I am confident that the work I do is a part of God's calling on my life and a means by which I can glorify God as we meet others' needs. In conclusion, to me, the most important collaboration is the families. They're the ones that are always around. They know their child better than anyone else. I believe collaboration with families, special education teachers, therapists, and paraprofessionals is essential in helping students reach their full potential. By working together, we can create learning experiences that support students' academic, social, and emotional growth while honoring each student's strengths and abilities. The entire educational process is a collaborative effort directed towards successful and meaningful outcomes for all learners. I would like to end with one of my favorite education quotes from Rita Pearson. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. Thank you all for your time and attention.